Let's go. Where you from? What's your name? Ask Baldy anything.
Give me your school song. Do the whole thing.
Yeah. What college you go to?
All right, my name's Gray. I'm from Petaluma.
Let's go.
All right, Gray.
You can pet a donkey. You can pet a llama.
Oh, gosh, here we go.
Petaluma.
All right.
So bad.
It's 7 to 7.
I know.
I listen to you guys all the time. Great to meet you, all three of you.
Thank you.
I want to talk about Fred Warner. You guys were just talking about forced fumbles, and he's got 4 already this year. He's got 50 tackles. He's, are we watching something special? I don't know the history that well of this, and I feel like Baldy, you could break this down well.
But you think about the first game of the year against the Jets on Monday night, and Breece Hall is breaking loose, and the ball is on his inside arm, and instead of the outside arm, he catches a screen pass, and Fred sees it right away. And as soon as he saw that ball in the inside arm, he balled up his fist and he punched it out. He saw it. That was the 3rd or 4th play of the game. It was early in the game, anyways. And Fred's ability, he did that for whatever game it was when the guy's going in to score a touchdown.
Minnesota. Yep.
He punched it out. His ability to get the ball out right now is rare. A little bit like.
Yeah,
no.
It's
you can tell he's practicing it, and he's looking for it right now.
Yeah,
and so it's slowing down enough for him to be able to see it.
He's one forced fumble behind Patrick Willis for most all-time forced fumbles in 49ers history.
All right, well, you know what? Pat Willis played 8 years, and you know where he's at.
Yeah, he's in Canton, Ohio.
His ability to go through all of this chaos and then somehow never lose stride, never get touched, and just knock a dude just completely sideways is uncanny.
No, he plays the game so fast because that's where 40-yard dash times and all the stuff they do at the combine don't register. That guy plays the game. You talk about an assassin angle assassin. That's what he is. His angles are just that.
What was the pre-draft buzz around Fred Warner? Because I had no idea. Yeah, but I didn't know anything about him. I feel like we watch a lot of college football. Yeah, I had never heard of Fred Warner.
His first game was in Minnesota. Okay, against the Vikings. And I remember talking to John Lynch down the field before the game. And they had another guy from Alabama that was here at the time. And John Lynch said he's my Mike linebacker. They knew it literally the first week.
He had the green dot helmet. We thought Reuben Foster was the future.
Wearing number 48.
Number 48. Did he punch out forced a fumble in that game? Dalvin Cook.
Yeah.
I never heard of the guy.
And he's played every game since.
Yeah, I had never heard of the guy.
I don't know if he's ever missed a practice.
Probably not.
I don't know.
Just recently with the ankle injury. Let's go. I think that's my man Don.
Hey, good morning, everybody out there in Radio Land 95.7. The Game, the best radio station in the Bay, dog.
Let's go. Get that drop. Cut it up.
Hey, I want to shout out, first of all, to Little Joe and Baby Chaz for putting up with you two fathers.
Thank you.
You guys are all right.
Thank you.
I got 3 kids of my own. You guys are doing good with the kids.
You know what Baby Chaz told me recently, Baldy? She said, Papa, you watch too much football. Football's always on, whether it's video games or football. She doesn't know yet. She's in the Princesses of Frozen.
She'll recognize that that's a good thing. Good parenting.
I know you played in Candlestick Park. What was it like to walk into Candlestick Park for the very first time?
Great question, Don.
Two things. One, Candlestick is one of those places where you literally there's no underneath entrance to the stadium, like a lot of these stadiums. So you get dropped off right where the fans are. So 2 things. My first game there. And I'm on the bus, and I'm sitting with Randy White and John Dutton, a bunch of the defensive linemen, and I'm getting ready to walk off the bus, and Randy White just he liked me. He grabbed me by the back of the shirt, and he pulled me down. I'm like, what are you doing? He goes, let everything get thrown first before we get off the bus. So, all the things that were going to get tossed at players, okay, I got that. Then I get dressed. I'm coming out onto the field, and I'm coming out on the field. You come out of that one corner, right? Yep. And, the fans are kind of right there on field level. I get somebody throws me a hot dog with mustard at my uniform. I got mustard dripped all over my uniform before I even get onto the field.
Baldy, my dad used to tell stories, especially in the 70s and 80s, when they would go in through that, because you're talking about where the team would come in. It'd be a cyclone fence. You could see right through it. It was just an old, gray, 20-foot tall cyclone fence, and everyone would just be firing things at the Dallas Cowboy bus. And as it would come turning in, everyone would run up to the cage and just start firing stuff. That's what it was.
They wanted me to get out of the way of the firing line.
Right. Just hold on, wait for the bus.
And then they would famously wait for you after the game.
Yeah, no doubt about that.
See what happens then.
Candlestick Park was different, man. It was very different. Let's go. Purdy, get up here.
Let's go.
Game City, where you from?
Wearing a sweet
This is Jeff from Katati.
Let's go.
707.
I played a lot for Katati.
I played Pop Warner football against those guys. Right? So Katati, Bobcats, and Cougars. They kicked our ass one year. Don't doubt.
Love the show. Brian, wonderful to meet you.
Thank you.
I went to Sonoma State with Larry Allen, talking about the most strongest individuals I've ever seen in my life. And we had some wild stories going to.
What was the weight room like there?
Oh, it was crazy.
Was it?
This man could bench press like 650 pounds.
Oh, yeah.
Without a problem.
Oh,
my God.
So when he was up there, did you guys know, like, this guy, what was he like walking around campus? Was he the man on campus where people just followed him?
Absolutely. But we would go to there's like Holiday Bar, which was in Petaluma. And walking with Larry was like you had a soldier with him, pretty much.
Oh, my God.
A guy bumped me.
Bodyguard.
We were dancing, bumped me. Larry picks him up by the back of the neck. He goes, "You'll buy everyone drinks." Yes, I will.
That is great.
So food was free.
Absolutely. I knew 3 of the guards on the team, offensive linemen and defense. We all hung out. So I played baseball with Sonoma State. So, Baldy, I was telling my wife, Heidi, who I brought.
Hi.
What's up, Heidi?
About all the concerts we go to. We go to a lot of rock concerts.
Okay, cool.
And you say you never paid for a concert you go to. And I was trying to tell my wife, was it Bruce Springsteen or Rolling Stones? Who was your favorite act you've ever seen?
So I've been to both, and I've seen 150 Bruce shows. They actually gave me a tour pass for Europe one year. Me and my brothers and my friends, we went to like 6 shows. But my all-time favorite, and I didn't pay for this one either, was U2. It was in Dusseldorf, Germany, and the day before, they played the World Bowl, which was the NFL Europe, like Super Bowl, right? So we just happened, so that was on a Saturday. So Sunday, U2 was playing. So we wanted to go to U2, and I knew a guy, Jake Berry. I kind of knew him, but he's from Jersey, and he was a tour manager. So in order to get into the stadium, there was like 10 layers of security to be able to even get to the tour manager's office. Somehow we get through all these different layers of security, and Jake is watching a NASCAR race on a TV. And somebody says, "Hey, there's a guy, Brian Baldinger, he's here to see you, Jake." And you go, "Who are you?" And I go, "My name is Brian. I'm friends with so." And he said, "Who are you friends with?" I didn't want to drop the name. So I go, "Well, I'm from Jersey. I was here yesterday." He goes, "You looking for free tickets?" I go, "Well, yeah, sort of." He goes, "All right, get out of here," right? So he didn't want nothing to do with me. So I didn't know that when I walked back out, the security walks me out of the office, and there was a place where all of the workers had their dinner, and it was all set up. So I just sat down like I thought it was outside the stadium, and I didn't know that area was actually in the stadium, and the security just let me go, and we were still thinking how to get in. We sat in these seats with free beer on the side of the stage for the best show I think I've ever seen. Yeah. So I kind of worked my way into that one.
Unbelievable.
That's next level.
Unbelievable.
That's next level. Great question. Yeah. Got one more? You got a quick one?
Niners will win 31-13. It'll move the season.
31-13?
Absolutely. And when the Niners win the Super Bowl, Steph Curry will also win his 5th championship.
I love this.
Icing on the cake.
Hey, well, Steph Curry wins the championship. They always say there's TV Bonte and radio Bonte.
See if Patrick Mahomes has ever lost a game 31-13.
Yeah, I don't think it happened.
Doesn't sound right.
I'm not even going to
there's always a first.
But you know what? I don't mind a long Warrior playoff run. That means playoff checks, Chasky. Okay. Come on now.
Okay. Great call.
Let's go. Great questions there. Heidi, you got a good one here. Got a good one.
Kenyon from San Francisco, California.
Let's go.
Kenyon. The pride of Wallenberg High School.
Wallenberg, there we go.
Yeah.
All right. Born and raised, Bayview District.
Let's go.
So it's been a lot of talk about this Chiefs defense. They saying they overrated or underrated. I personally think they're a little overrated. I feel the past 2 games they played, the Chargers with no receivers. Saints
yep.
beat up.
Yep.
They played the Ravens week 1. Lamar did good. We know as the Niners, we need to run the ball to win the game.
Mm-hmm.
So, who worries me is Chris Jones.
Yeah, of course.
What are some ways that we could scheme to combat
Chris Jones?
Well, it's not just Chris. Like, they've got the three. They've got a big linebacker core, Kenyon. So they have Drew Tranquil, Nick Bolton, and Leo Chenal. Leo Chenal is 255 pounds. Like, they'll put three linebackers on the field with Chris Jones and all the guys, Travell Wharton, all these guys up front. And literally, they'll play big man football, anticipating the run. And so they're going to come and smash, like, all their double teams and movement and stuff. Like, that's their game plan, I think. I think you'll see three linebackers on the field. Maybe Kyle counters by not putting his tight ends out there and spreading them out. Maybe not putting Juszczyk on the field. Like, they might counter that because if you don't put two tight ends or a fullback and a tight end out there, they're not going to put those three linebackers out there. But that's what they did to Lamar in the AFC Championship game. Like, they took the run away from him by putting those linebackers. In Baltimore just got worried about it. They started throwing the ball.
They ran 8 times in that game or whatever it was.
Yeah, it wasn't enough.
No, it wasn't enough. I'm with them. I think they still need to run the ball. But can you get those linebackers exposed in space via the pass game?
Well, Leo Chenal is basically a stout defensive end playing linebacker.
Gotcha.
So there's ways to put him in coverage for sure. I'm sure that's one of the things that if you see him out there, but he's a good football player. Like, and he runs okay, but he can't run with Jordan Mason or Juszczyk out of the backfield.
What about the secondary matchup? Great question, kid, y'all. Great question there. What about the secondary matchup with these wide receivers? Because at some point, Brock Purdy's going to have to make throws, which he's done over the course of his career. I don't really worry about Brock Purdy. I think he had a solid Super Bowl personally, but obviously the conversation was getting off a sticky man coverage, which the Niners
played
couldn't
a lot
do
of
it.
man coverage in the Super Bowl, which was a departure from what they had done.
Yeah, they went up. Shanahan spoke on that earlier this week. He said they went 35% man in that Super Bowl as opposed to 20% leading up to that game.
Yeah, well, I mean, and so they wanted to challenge the receivers and get, extra personnel to come to, get after the quarterback. And look, all the way to the end, it kind of worked. So I don't know if Kansas City does the same thing, but you had, L.J. Snead, you had, McDuffie, Jalen Watson, you had guys that could man up. And you don't have to cover them all the way down the field. You just have to be sticky on them when Brock is looking at you.
Anybody else have any questions? Any one-offs? We'll rat-a-tat-tat them because we're coming up against it.
Hey, good morning. Good morning. It's Oscar from South City.
Let's go.
South City, baby.
Orange Park?
Nah.
No, that's the only part that's South City.
I was just there last week.
Nah, but quick shout out to you guys. Listen to you guys every morning.
Thank you.
Listen to his show as well. Baldy, it's an honor to meet you.
Thank you.
Shout out to my brother DJ97 and my boy Melly Mel out there. But a quick question. Sorry. Last year, the game that was circled for the Niners was the rematch between Philadelphia Eagles.
Yep.
Obviously,
they scored 6 straight times in a row.
Well, they went into that game 10-1, I believe, and then there were. Would you consider this game to be similar to that matchup as last year, where they laid out the blueprint? Because after that, Philadelphia went on a run where they kind of
they couldn't do anything.
It was like a downfall in a sense.
They collapsed after that.
And I know the Chiefs are undefeated right now, but
it could put two teams in different directions. It's possible. The Chiefs, I think. Look, I don't know how they did beat the Saints, and the Saints obviously gave up 50 last week. They're just a terrible team right now.
Yeah. Oh my God!
It's not just the injuries. But guys like Demario Davis, who have led that team in tackles for years, like he's invisible right now. Yeah. So they're just broken up front right now in the injuries. But regardless, like I feel like San Francisco, if they win this game, it could be, their denouement. That point in the story where the ending gets revealed. It could flip the season.
I like that term.
Yeah.
I mean, we
literary term.
I love
term.
that.
I might have to steal that one.
The Avengers coming together is what you're saying. Let's go.
Rick from Oakland.
Let's go.
Welcome in the house, baby.
Question for you, Brian. Who did you hate to see coming? Who would get the best of you?
So they had this guy named Jumpy Gathers. Jumpy Gathers played in Washington.
Yeah.
Look him up. He had a forklift. His move was the forklift. So what he would do is, like, if you're playing guard and he was lining up over you, he'd throw you a hook like it's a rip move, right? And then he would, like, literally club you, and he would literally take almost everybody off their feet and walk them back to the quarterback. And all you wanted was to be able to go through the day and not get forklifted. You didn't care if you won the game or lost the game when Jumpy was playing. You just didn't want to get forklifted.
I remember him with the Falcons, and I looked up his Pro Football Reference, New Orleans Saints.
He was in Denver, too?
Finished his career in Denver, 36 years old, 3 years in Atlanta, had 3 years in Washington, won the Super Bowl with Washington and Joe Gibbs in 91 when they beat the Bills, Mark Rippon, and then, of course, started his career with the Dome Patrol in New Orleans.
Yep. No, Jumpy was that man's power, him and Eric Swan. Like I still have a dipping knee. Never played college football.
Wow.
Like he was a 19-year-old freak. And I'll never forget, we played him opening day one year, and Eric Swan, like I'm running a screen, and Swanee like dove like down the field, dirty as hell, like dove into the back of my leg. My leg, it still swells all the time because of Swanee. But like literally, the day after you played Eric Swan, you couldn't open up a door, turn a doorknob. Your hands were so beat up from just grabbing him and trying to hold on to him. He was like literally a man-child.
There goes your love life.
So as a player, real quick, Rick, as a player, Baldy's doing pretty well, I think. That's what the streets say. When you're getting ready for these guys, though, all week long, are you just thinking about that? Is it tough to focus on the game? Like, I got to go against Jumpy Gathers. Oh, gosh. Eric Swan. And you're counting down the days.
Well, you're sitting in the film room, and you're sitting with your group, right? And you're watching Jumpy, take Mark Schlereth, into the nickel. That ain't like. All you're thinking, like, we're all laughing. It's like when we watch Reggie White just throw guys off the screen and hump move guys. Like, we're like, I don't want that to happen to me. Like, so
when you reviewed the film, what was the funniest thing, like, the day after that everybody made fun of you for? Was there a particular play?
It was, I was playing in Dallas one time, and they had a safety for the Giants. We're playing the Giants. I got all my friends and family and stuff at Giant Stadium, and I hit this safety from Clemson for the Giants, like literally 10 seconds after the play. I just came running, like I'm just blinded. The play's over, and I just speared him, and I sent him flying. The flags, everybody threw a flag. And the next thing I know, Landry's like pulling me out of the game. And it was just like, people still see that hit on social media. It was so late, and it was so stupid, but like that was not a good play.
One more, Rick, go ahead.
Earlier you mentioned with your life on the line, you would go with Joe Montana if you had one guy to pick. Do you see that in Purdy? I haven't seen that in him yet. To bring his team from behind, if they get behind against Kansas City,
I like to have seen the right guard hold up on the final play in overtime and let him get the ball to Ayuk, and maybe it's a different game. I think they were down 17 to Detroit. How much were they down?
24-7.
Yes.
They were down 17 and brought him back to beat the Lions. Like, he's brought him back now more times than people probably think.
Okay.
Green Bay Packers as well. Green Bay Packers in the rain as well. Yep. Good questions, Rick. Let's get a couple more here, then we'll get the Fast Five. Spinoni, let's do Fast Five. Let's hit Fast Five. Your questions will be part of Fast Five. We'll have our final thoughts as well. Name, city, where you're from. Ask Baldy Anything.
Okay, from San Lorenzo. Real quick, couple things. I'm a big fan of you guys. Listen to you guys every morning. Baldy, can't wait for the breakdowns to come out every week.
All right.
I'm a big fan. I'm not a homer. I can critique my team when I need to.
Yep.
What is it that's going on in the red zone? What are we doing why aren't we running the ball in the red zone?
Well, that's what you want to do. You want to be able to run it. Like, they're running it everywhere else with Garendo and Mason this year. I can't speak, like, it's always different. It's never just one thing that shows up all the time. But McCaffrey was just so special in that part of the field. He had power. He had the ability to find a crease, develop a crease, make a crease, and then finish it. I mean, they don't have that. It's not against Jordan. Like, he's still a great back, but McCaffrey was special in that part of the field.
12 of 27 in the red zone. And some may say they're running it too much or being too predictable on first down in the red zone, Sasky.
They just need to score touchdowns. I'm going to look for this Brian Baldinger late hit on YouTube for the next week. Terry Kennard.
We got to find this one.
While I eat my Jack's food, give a shout out one last time for Jack's Restaurant.
Shout out Jack's Restaurant for providing breakfast.
Shout out Jack's Restaurant.
San Bruno, Pleasant Hill. They're in San Jose. They're all over the place. And they have a special cantina that's opening. Special cantina. Don't tell anybody. Special cantina. Zucci May, what's happening? Get up here.
Zucci Mang from the Hayward University.
Let's go.
Best question for you, and if you're on the payroll, you don't have to answer. Can you explain the Madden curse to me?
So
that's a great question.
Who was on the cover? Was it McCaffrey?
McCaffrey's on the cover.
I mean, I think it's happened to everybody. I don't think anybody escaped it
except Mahomes.
Mahomes the only one.
Mahomes escaped it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Josh Allen a little bit. Yeah.
But they didn't win it all.
But Peyton Hillis got cursed.
I know.
Michael Vick, Marshall Falk, Vince Young, Steve McNair,
Antonio Brown.
Yeah, I mean, it's unbelievable.
You want the publicity, you just don't want that much.
You don't want the cover. Yeah, you don't want the
not
cover. Say no to the cover. Anything else? Spinotti, get in here. Spinotti, you did a great job on the board. Give us your final thoughts, Spinotti.
My final thought is Tom Brady is now a Las Vegas Raider. And if you would have told me that 20 years ago, I would have fallen over in my chair.
Spinotti's happy.
Since Gannon?
Yes.
Spinotti's happy that Tom Brady is now an official member of the Las Vegas Raiders. We didn't get into that. No. How's he going to broadcast? He can't get on the field. He can't go to promotion meetings.
I want to see if he's on the field Sunday. When I'm down there, I want to see if he's there. I mean, if he talks to me, is that considered like tampering?
That's a great question. That's a great question.
Baldy, man. Awesome time, man. Man. Give it up for Brian Baldinger.
You're the
Give it up for Baldy, man. And give it up to you guys.
Thank you guys for all coming down here. We love you guys. Without you guys, we don't have a station. We mean that from the bottom of our hearts. Thank you guys.
Good stuff, everybody. That was Southside.
It's a stadium on Sunday.
Let's go.
Absolutely. Chief Snyders, who finally made it, folks. Have a great weekend. We'll see you on Monday when we're breaking down this game. That was Fast 5. Brought to you by Xfinity at home or on the go. Look at the fastest internet to all of your devices.